Hey, what's up? I'm Dave Boyer, aka Mr. Boyer, aka the Swamp Man. I'm in Theodore, Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, and we're hiking on the Petrified Forest Loop Trail. We took a right turn to go to the South Petrified Forest and just getting to the very beginning of it. Let me show you a little bit and I'll talk about it. So these can be found in lots of places around the world. We've driven by just a few of them on this road trip. We didn't get a chance to stop at either Petrified Forest National Park in Arizona, or we drove by Petrified Forest State Park in Utah. But this national park, Theodore Roosevelt National Park, has an example of a petrified forest as well. So if you look at this, it's got a lot of characteristics of rock. It definitely feels like rock. Sounds like rock, but this is an old stump from a bald cypress tree. We still have bald cypress today. There's actually some on our campus that I've planted a long time ago, but this area has gone through lots of change, as it has every part of the earth. So at one time, North Dakota, which today in the winter it would be negative, 15 degrees Fahrenheit at least on some days. So they get really cold winters here. But at one point, millions of years ago, after an ice age had receded and we had warming of the planet, they had swamps in this area, bald cypress trees growing in watered down areas. And this was a stump from one of those bald cypress trees. So how would a stump, which is wood, turn into petrified wood, which is a rock? Well, first of all, we need to get that organic matter, that stump, to be buried. So some kind of an event would have to bury it, whether it was one of the last to fall before this area maybe was uplifted or covered in volcanic ash, or some kind of a major event that would cover it and bury it deeper in the ground, and that can slow down the decay process of the wood. But as the wood begins to break down, some of its pores, especially in some of the tunnels that we'll talk about, the tubes we'll talk about, the xylem tubes and the phloem tubes that the tree uses to transport minerals, transport glucose, transport water. Minerals get inside of those tubes and then they begin to calcify. So calcify, think of as being hardened. So a chemical change happens and those parts start to harden and form into rock, and then the living parts die around it. They decay and break down around it. So what's left is really like a fossil, like an exact copy of the living material that was there before, except its chemical breakup, its chemical breakdown is different. No longer is it made up of glucose and cellulose and all those parts of living cells. It now is made up of calcium. Really neat. I've seen some of these for sale in some of the gift shops that we've seen around on our trip, and some people are asking outrageous prices for a stump like this one, this big. I mean, it probably would bring a price of $10,000 or more, but it's protected here in the national park. I'm not strong enough to carry it out of here, and so I'll leave it be. But it's pretty awesome to see, to get an idea of what this area was like millions of years ago. Sometimes we go walking in a forest or go to a place that we think is beautiful, and we're like, wow, this has been untouched by humans. This must be the same as it's been for forever, which forever is a crazy word, but to look at every part of the planet has changed so much, and to see examples of that, to see fossils of that, is pretty awesome. So I'm gonna kind of keep heading down into the Petrified Forest area. I was just at the start of it when I started the video. All of these pieces here They look like wood. It still shows the structure of the tree that it was, and then that structure is just replaced by the minerals that are hardened to form it into rock. I think it's pretty awesome. Let me get you a look just up here at this section and then I'll sign off. Look at all this broken down pieces of the petrified wood. It looks like somebody chopped this tree to get some firewood, and these are the little chips that broke off of it. I think it's pretty cool. I just wanted to stop and share it with you and tell you science rocks. Peace.